It's such a beautiful day. We got so lucky after yesterday's rain. I could not be happier to see the blue skies. My name is Kate Fichter. I am the Assistant Secretary of Policy Coordination with the Massachusetts Department of Transportation. I am thrilled to be here, honored to be here with so many people who have been such important parts of this key project for Springfield, and such a great crowd. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make a couple of quick notes. Union Station, I understand, will turn 90 next year, and I believe it has been closed to the public for almost half of its life. So being able to reopen it to the public is just such an important thing. And just on a personal note, yesterday was Father's Day. My father is a tremendous fan of trains in Massachusetts. And he has taken me through Springfield by rail so many times, and I have never once gotten to see the inside of the station before just this morning. So it's very personal to be able to do this. So what we're going to do today, we have a number of really important people, important partners on this project who want to speak to you today. Just quickly before we jump into that, I do want to recognize all of the agencies and the organizations that have been part of this project. This project could not have been possible without many different partnerships. And it's really important to recognize groups like Amtrak, like the Federal Transit Administration, the Springfield Redevelopment Authority, Mass Development, Housing and Economic Development, which has folks here today. I'd also like to recognize staff from Senator Lesser's office, as well as Senator Welch, who will be speaking. So I won't bore you, but I just want to jump in and say hello, say good morning, and we'd like to start with Katie Steppins from the Mass Office of Housing and Economic Development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm here today representing the Office of Housing and Economic Development, and I bring you greetings on behalf of Secretary Jay Ash. This is particularly exciting to me because when I started on this project, I was a planner for the city of Springfield in my 20s. So it's really amazing to see a project happen on a continuum from very early stages until now. I'm now the state's lead on technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And watching this project happen and knowing the connection it's going to make east-west with the innovation and technology economy in our state is really thrilling. So I look forward to all the different connections and partnerships we're going to make, watching this continue to happen. And on behalf of our Secretariat, I thank you for having me.
Thank you, Katie. Next, I'd like to welcome Mayor Sarno, who's been a big part of this project for a long time, is overseeing $2.7 billion of economic activity here in Springfield, and is right here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Undersecretary Victor. We appreciate you being here. To City Councilor Tom Ash, City Councilor Orlando Ramos, City Councilor Bud Williams, who also played a big role when we had city money that's involved in this. We appreciate that. Katie, it's great to see you again. Senator Welch, Lieutenant Governor Polito, and of course, Congressman Neal, really his day. To the SRA board members, to MassDOT, FTA, goes on and on, all the acronyms for all the groups. We deeply appreciate it. But especially to Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito, Secretary Ash, Secretary Pollack, thank you for your continued belief and investment in the city of Springfield. This last chunk of money makes sure that this project moves forward completely. And again, I have to give a shout out to Congressman Neal, to Richie, who stick-to-it-iveness on this project. Again, he will speak of the history, but it opened up in 1926. I believe that a candidate, 1977, I believe. He was unannounced at the time, but he still drew 500 people here at Union Station. And then we'll speak about all the war veterans that went off the war and came back from war, whether it was World War II or Vietnam, and the barber shops, 8 chairs here. Being a son of a barber, my father would speak very well about the chairs that were down here at this point in time. Union stations across the country, whether it's in D.C., New Haven, or in Worcester, are very, very important. Integral part not only of the transportation grid, but more importantly of economic development. If you look at D.C., before that was done, it was a very decrepit, crime-riddled area. It really anchored D.C. and coming back to Union Station there. So as we move forward, this not only will be a regional transportation hub, it'll also be economic development, and it will anchor our or my north end area here was move forward. Now, we already have the north-south rail going. We are very helpful with Congressman Neal's efforts and Governor Baker's and others' efforts that we are able to get the east-west connection. That is the key to the Golden West here, and I think people from the eastern part of the state or even the central part of the state will see the opportunities here in the city of Springfield. But again, the naysayers and the haters said this would never be done, as with other projects that we have going forward in the city of Springfield. Well, it's getting done. And I think a big round of applause really needs to go to Congressman Richie Neal, who has been absolutely steadfast, his stick-to-itiveness on this for many, many years. So it's a proud day, not only for the city of Springfield, but for Congressman Neal. And with that, I will turn it over back to Madam MC.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor. It is my great honor now to introduce Congressman Neal, the Dean of our delegation, a tireless champion for this project.
Thanks to our Lieutenant Governor Polito and to our Mayor Dominic Sarno, City Councilors, and Senator Welsh, and to the guests who faithfully assemble here to support Union Station. 38 years ago tomorrow, I announced I was a candidate for the City Council right here in the concourse. And 20 successful elections later, we're here to complete the final round of funding for this initiative. I did so having heard the siren call of preserving this building and its grandeur, as the historic role of hub transportation here for Western New England and what it will be. Duly warned by the lyrical admonition of Joni Mitchell, who with great prescience warned, "Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone." We began and we persevered, and 42 years after this elegant lady closed, Lieutenant Governor Polito helps us today with Charlie Baker to make the final payment on a completely restored Union Station that will be 90 years old when reopened in 2016. I was determined that Union Station would not meet the death knell of the Wrecker's Ball like so many of her other train station relatives across America. But instead, we would marry our region's past to the future, and whether it was Washington or Baltimore or Philadelphia or New Haven or Hartford or Worcester, I saw the opportunity to rebuild this station. And as we meet, stimulus money is being used to improve rail on the north-south line from New Haven to Hartford to Springfield and on to Vermont. The state of Connecticut has set aside $190 million to improve the track along those lines, and Governor Malloy has been steadfast as well in his efforts. We supported that stimulus money because part of the purpose was to assist the state of Connecticut in making sure that rail and passenger service along the north-south connector would prosper, and it is doing precisely that. When finished, there will be 14 to 16 more trains a day on that north-south route. And shortly, a study earmarked by my friend, former Congressman John Olver, in conjunction with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission and the Federal Transportation Administration, will determine the viability of east-west rail as well. And for those of us who follow the Olympic issue in the city of Boston, I believe that none of us are naive enough to believe that there won't be public expenditure. Our ask should be improved east-west rail to accommodate and complement north-south rail transportation here for western and central Massachusetts. And having a lieutenant governor from central Massachusetts will be very helpful to that argument. I want to acknowledge the unyielding support of Mayor Dominic Sarno, who worked vigorously and stayed with me on this proposal. To Governor Baker, whom I spoke with days after he became governor, and had 3 conversations with him, one in Vice President Biden's office, about the last leg of funding. And to Governor Deval Patrick, who helped with every request I made. And it was the last conversation we had during his administration, and it was about Union Station. To our state legislators who have stepped up, to our city council members who have stepped up, we honor a very rich history today, an example of policy and political cooperation that has brought us to this moment. And yes, for the faint of heart, overwhelmingly the federal dollars here were earmarked. There isn't a bureaucrat that I've met anywhere that knows more about what the region needs than those of us who are elected, based upon hard-fought evidence to support our conclusions, and every dime and dollar of it was worth it. My requests in the House had to be protected in the Senate, and Ted Kennedy and John Kerry were skilled and enthusiastic and offered unstinting assistance along the way. Last Wednesday evening, I had dinner with Ray LaHood, the former Secretary of Transportation, who I served with in the House for many years. He negotiated the final leg of the federal government's support with Kevin Kennedy and me on a conference call while I sat in the barber's chair, anxious to get that final funding. Ray came here to Union Station to award the federal assistance, and I want to say something today to particularly the younger people that are here. Ray LaHood is a Republican, and I didn't have a better friend in the House of Representatives than Ray LaHood. It's an example of what can be done and how Congress once worked when you could call the Secretary of Transportation, based on a long history and friendship, argue the merit of a case, and secure almost $25 million in funding from the Secretary's signature. It was ironic, incidentally, when we finished dinner the other night, to have the Secretary of Transportation say to me, "You want to ride back to the apartment?" I thought, when he arrived here, he had armed protection, and here he's got a Tesla driving me back to Capitol Hill. So from the eyes of a young boy who came through this station with a grandmother who lived nearby, to the memories of our sons and daughters who offered military service that frequently began and ended through the doors of this station, this is a good day. There were a handful of critical moments in this long saga that allowed for our collective success. I want to give a shout out to David Starr, then the publisher of the Springfield newspapers, and now the president of the Springfield newspapers, who as a city councilor, as mayor and congressman, encouraged me each step of the way to take bold action, and we took bold action to save this landmark. The editorial pages of the Springfield newspapers were unswerving in their supports of our efforts. With guile, with effort, and uncompromising determination, we stayed with this journey. And I want to say for a moment to the deniers and to the mothballers that I encountered over the years regarding this project, I wish you could be here for another one of those "it will never happen" moments. Let me close with a quote from that sage of Western political thought, Mick Jagger, to frame our 38-year effort, concluding with Governor Baker's assistance with Lieutenant Governor Polito this morning. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Today, we have what we need, and we got what we want. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Representative. So now, to close us out, I have the great honor of introducing our 72nd Lieutenant Governor, Karen Polito. And I can say I have personally had the honor of being able to work with her over the last months on some very important public transportation issues, and she is a true champion for these causes. So I am very pleased to have her come up to the podium now.
Thank you very much. When I hear the number 72, I feel a little oldish, but not yet enough to be old in this job as your Lieutenant Governor, and I'm very proud and honored to be here in Springfield to celebrate this milestone and this victory. And the reason why we're here is because you never stopped believing. And because you didn't stop believing, and in fact believe so much in yourselves and the future of this city, we in our administration, Charlie Baker, myself, our Secretary of Transportation and of Economic Development, believe in you. And we know that the final bookend of funding here, $12 million, $9 million from the CMAQ end of it, and almost $3 million from the MassWorks grant, will finally make sure that this project becomes a reality and is very much a part of your future here in Springfield. I do want to say thank you so much to Congressman Neal for just believing with all his heart and for really just digging in and following through in all of his years of service. This is when you, as citizens of this great city, know you have a strong representative in Washington that never forgot his roots and where he came from and why this project was so important. And it sounds to me, when this is newly renovated, that you will be having another party inside, right? Okay, maybe the first one. With the governor, we'll be there. I do want to say thank you to the mayor, thank you to the Pioneer Valley Transit Authority, to the Springfield Redevelopment Authority. this is really a collaborative effort, you know, people coming together, really working hard for this city's future. Obviously, to our delegation, Senator Walsh, Senator Lesser's office, to our representatives in the House, thank you for working together and just keeping, you know, your eye on the ball and just always talking about it and not losing sight of the importance of the redevelopment of this site. There's that phrase, you know, if you build it, they will come. We all are aware of what that means, and it's really a failed strategy for many businesses that think that they can just build a website or build a building and everything will follow. And actually what happened in Springfield here is just the opposite. The reason we're building this building today and renovating it back to its full use is because they are here. The people are here in the greater Springfield area, the Hartford-Springfield connection, with over 1.9 million residents in that area. It's the second largest, most populous area outside of Greater Boston in New England. And that we have over 160,000 students in the many universities, and the heavy density of hospitals and colleges and universities all throughout this area. This is an area that is ripe for economic development. The people are here, and the people deserve the transportation that is necessary to move them around to their jobs, to get to their medical appointments, for students to be able to have a good quality of life as they learn here, and then next lay their roots here and begin the next generation of success here in the Springfield area. I really believe that this intermodal station is transformational. When you think about building stronger communities in Massachusetts, we think about the next generation. And for people to want to raise their families here and to move their business here and to grow their footprint here, they need all aspects of a quality of life. And transportation is integral to that quality of life. So today, when I come to this moment and I come to this place, I'm very happy for Springfield. I'm thrilled that you had the foresight to retain this building, a Union Station that in many cities throughout our country is very much a fabric of that community. And your Union Station still stands here after many years of being dormant. To have the old part of this structure, you know, return to an active use is going to bring so much life and vitality to this north end of Springfield and to the greater region altogether. And we couldn't be happier to invest these dollars, because we know that an investment in Springfield is an investment that you will leverage and stretch because you have very strong leadership here. Recently, I had the opportunity to attend a meeting with the Springfield leadership, with the business leaders here, and with the civic leaders here. And we know that you have all the ingredients to take this and move it forward. So that you should feel very proud that you made this moment happen. And the building comes after all that planning, all that determination, all that vision and focus and discipline. That's why we're standing here today. And we know in just a year or so, when this place is humming with activity and trains moving east, west, and north and south to Hartford, we know that we have made the right decision for the future of our Commonwealth. The Baker and Polito administration are very proud of you. I'm very happy to be here with Congressman Neal to see this day come to fruition, and I look forward to continuing to work with Mayor Sarno and all of you here for our future in Springfield. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor, and thank you to everybody for coming. This ends the formal part of our program. We definitely encourage folks to spend a few minutes, if you have them, and talk to some of the members of our construction team about the project. But otherwise, we look forward to being back in late 2016 for the opening. Thank you.